For the pledge of allegiance, moment of silence. I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Please have a seat. Welcome, everybody. Okay, we have no petitioners signed up for tonight. Is there anybody who wants privilege on the floor? Yes. Please state your name and address.
3 minutes, Mark.
10? Did you say 10?
1 second.
Oh.
please.
1 second. Just, we're gonna do roll call really quickly. Councilman Palara?
Here.
Councilwoman Dyson? Here. Councilwoman Leskowski? Here. Councilman Seneca?
Here.
And Supervisor Smitter?
Here. Please say your name and address for the record.
Good afternoon, evening. My name is Mark Pittifer. I'm here on behalf of the Waterloo Container Company. Supervisor Schmitter and members of the town board, I'm speaking tonight on behalf of Bill Lutz and the Waterloo Container Company as one of the largest employers in Seneca County and in Seneca Falls. I'm here to tell you that as of late, the odors coming from the Seneca Meadows landfill have been unbearable and appear to be out of control. Our employees must hold their breath once they get out of their vehicle in the morning and walk into the office, and sometimes that odor is in the office. We know recently that Donadent and other businesses are also currently struggling with newly emerging regular recurring odor problems from the Seneca Meadows landfill, and it's becoming more and more of a problem for these businesses in the community. Although we appreciate members of this board having listened to our serious concerns and showing genuine concern for these issues still remain. We need this board to do something different. We need this board to have Seneca Meadows mitigate the problems they have created. People are getting sick. People are becoming ill. And attracting people to work at our facility, and more importantly, move into Seneca Falls, is becoming more and more difficult because of our proximity to the Seneca Meadows landfill. On top of this, the town is divided on blind assumptions and false narratives, pushed by an out-of-state Texas corporation named Waste Connections through the means of mailers, radio, social media, text blasts, and digital ads. Our elections have been influenced. Businesses are suffering and storefronts are empty, and we've been labeled an environmentally disadvantaged community. This is not who we want to be as a town. This is not Seneca Falls. There have been reports of a cancer cluster surrounding the Seneca Meadows landfill area in the region. We know that this is being discussed by the New York State Department of Health as we speak. But we still don't know the answer to two simple questions. What are we breathing? And what are the short and long-term effects of breathing these toxic fumes from the landfill? The landfill cannot control their odor problem. They're too big. It's worse now than ever before, and on top of this, their leachate system has been shut down for months. 2 different fires have occurred at the evaporators, and problems associated with the town hosting the largest landfill in New York State and the 8th largest landfill in the United States of America are appearing to spiral out of control. So what can the town do? The town can enforce the host agreement. The town can enforce their town code. These odors are well beyond the property line of use of the landfill, which is a violation of Seneca Falls Town Code 300-26B. Quote, odor no use within any district shall emit an odor that is unreasonably offensive as measured at the property line of use, end quote. The health and safety of the citizens of Seneca Falls needs to be at the forefront of every decision made by this board. We don't know what we're breathing, and Waterloo Container is concerned for our future. Waterloo Container, along with some of the other larger employers in your town and county, implore this board to hold Seneca Meadows to a greater level of accountability. Use your authority and power given to you as elected officials. It's your duty to enforce codes and agreements and make the landfill comply. If the town and Seneca Meadows would respond immediately to odor complaints as outlined in the host agreement, this would be a step forward in helping the impacted community members. Everything and all of this should be done with one thing in mind: to protect the health, safety, and well-being of your residents. Thank you.
Thank you. Is there anything else? Like privilege of the floor? Okay, we'll go on with the meeting. Can I have a motion to accept the approval of the minutes from January 8, 2024?
I make the motion.
A second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So fast. I need a motion to accept the communications.
I make a motion, we accept the communications A through G.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. So now you have the agenda in front of you. I'm going to add a little different thing to the agenda. I want to start adding to the meetings for a little more transparency with what's going on. So at this time, I want to add a new procedure. I want to implement into our regular meeting. I want to spend some time talking about the committees and the projects. So first, I'd like to thank Chief Snyder and his officers for the work they did arresting the subject for attempted murder. Occurred in December, but the arrest actually happened in January. I also want to congratulate Lieutenant Todd Clare and Officer Devin Hathaway for becoming defensive tactic instructors. I want to thank Joe Tutula and his crew at the sewer and water plant for their quick work in repairing an overflow due to a computer program. They quickly got the problem resolved and had the plant running properly again. I want to thank Jeremy and his crew at the highway department for the quick work in cleaning the roads and picking up debris from the windstorm we suffered last month. As far as projects go, the town has approximately 25 major projects going on right now. We are working closely with our grant writers and engineer firms to get projects moving forward. Every month I'll try to touch on a few just to let you people know what's going on. One of the projects we're working on right now is the DMAT culvert project. Jeremy stated he has got the pipe and the permit was approved by DC and the project should be done within a week or two. The other project, the skate park and kayak launch, has been will be put out to bid either this week or next week. The water meter replacement, that project has started and going well. And for those of you that have received letters of set up appointments, please do so. If people aren't calling in, we can't put the meters in. So it's going by different zones right now. So if you do receive a letter, please try to reach out and let them know when they can come install the meter. And another project we're working on is a wastewater excess flow tank. For that, they started working on the foundation. So that's just a few of the projects, but every month I want to fill people in a little bit what's going on, just to keep you appraised of the stuff that's going on in the town. So now we're going to go into old business. Last month we tabled a permit by SMI to construct and operate a landfill under Chapter 58 of the Code of Seneca Falls, New York. We have a motion to untable that.
Make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor of untabling it? Say aye. Anyone opposed? Okay, so I'm going to start the discussion for that. The resolution. So this resolution is to grant a permit to Seneca Metals Incorporated to construct and operate a landfill under Chapter 58 of the Code of Seneca Falls, New York. I believe that issuing a permit this time is not justified. This is not personal against Seneca Metals. I just feel we cannot issue a permit to Seneca Metals or any other business or even any resident of the town if they are already in violation of the town zoning laws. Zoning law B states for odor, no use within any district shall emit an odor that is unreasonably offensive as measured at the property line of the use. So enforcement of the town code must be enforced equally on everyone. In the last several weeks, there have been numerous complaints to the town and to the county regarding offensive odors coming from Seneca Metals. Once Seneca Metals resolved the issue regarding offensive odors, I would agree to issue a permit. Anyone else for discussion?
I have a few.
Okay, please use the microphone.
So I just have a few. I'm not debating whether or not there's odor or anything like that. My question is more so for Peter, because I know that we've had discussion in terms of official complaints being filed. How many have we had to date as far as official complaints? I've gone through your office because we have, through the town, an official process.
From the beginning of the year, or since I've been in the office?
I would say within the past, I mean, how far do we want to go back?
I think we're supposed to-
6 months, we'll say 6 months.
3 that I've sent violations for. I've gotten calls, I've gotten nothing, calls and emails,
Okay.
nothing on a formal complaint
Okay,
form.
3 that you said, what did you say?
Violations for.
3. When it comes to receiving text messages and phone calls, I really think that we need to be firm and consistent as far as moving forward with the official process. That's my position as to, this is why we have a process in place. So, what have we been doing with the violations?
They get sent to Seneca Meadows.
Okay.
I've gotten a couple calls and they've addressed it. Other than that, that's as far as it's gone.
So are we basing this off of text messages, phone calls, or are we basing this off of official violations?
I mean, I've gone, when I've sent the violations, I've witnessed it myself.
Right, and this is more so for a conversation for the members that are gonna be voting no, I guess, is what are we basing this off? The official violations or the text messages that we're receiving? Because I'm not debating whether or not we don't receive the emails, we receive the emails, but as far as validating, I wanna be able to have a system in place that we're gonna be able to validate them. That's my biggest concern.
And we had talked about that, and we do plan on setting up a way to enforce the policy.
Are we putting the cart before the horse here? I mean, I'm not,
We're just,
so,
you can
so
vote,
are
but
we gonna table this again to develop a process in place?
I
We
believe
could-
that's correct. Right now, we have a town code, okay?
Right.
And we also have a policy for enforcement. What we don't have is, we need to create a procedure on how to use the enforcement policy. You know, who's gonna be involved? Are we going to take the word of the constituent out there? They smell it, okay. Even if we don't get to them that day, if we get to them a day later and they're willing to sign an affidavit.
But why do we have a zoning officer?
Well, that's what I mean. Okay, we're gonna send Peter out with an affidavit to the person that has a complaint, and then have him sign the affidavit. And we'll develop a procedure.
So-
Right now, we do have the complaint procedure, well, no, we do have the enforcement policy, and we have the town code. But we don't have a procedure to guide the zoning officer on what to do, and that's what we need to work on.
I don't
That's
think
my
we should
opinion.
send them out a day later, because obviously the
No,
smell
we
will
should
be
send them out
gone.
when the complaint
Listen,
happens, should we
my
not?
theory is, I'm looking at it just the opposite as the landfill. My theory is if somebody calls and says they smell it, I believe it 100%. Okay, I'm not questioning whether the person smells it. I don't believe that the employee from the landfill can smell the odor because their nose is compromised from working there all the time.
So,
So
I'm-
sending one of
hold on.
their employees out there is pointless. We're gonna develop our own procedure to do it, and we're gonna have noses that are not compromised. And if we don't get it to it that day, then we're gonna believe the person. That's the way I look at it.
again, we have a zoning officer
Okay.
for that we pay in a complaint process in place. So are we denying a permit or are we tabling this until we develop a process in place?
Well, I'm not gonna vote in favor of giving the permit till we develop
That's my
the
question. Are we denying the permit or are we
procedure to
tabling
enforce
this?
the policy. How long it takes. Hopefully, we can get it done in a month.
So
Why
are
haven't
we
we been
tabling
working
it?
on this then?
we were gonna vote to either accept it, they can reapply once we come into policy and they've corrected the issues. But for now, I think we vote whether we
Sounds like an
issue
internal
the
issue.
permit or not. It's not an internal issue, the smell is there, it's
Of course it's-
real.
but we
How we
have-
handle it is our issue, but the fact that it's still
But
there,
you're
we
not
have to trust
utilizing
the people.
zoning.
We
Yeah,
do
we're gonna
utilize zoning, but
utilize
we,
Peter.
You're not utilizing them.
we are setting up a policy to utilize him to do this.
Okay, maybe I'm not understanding.
Anyone else?
I could butt in really quick. I think when we do this policy, we need to include an email on the town website that automatically copies every board member, zoning, and every party that's involved. So just make it that much easier and more of a paper trail, I guess, if you will, about what happens to these complaints once they're called in.
I still have a question. How is Peter going out the day after you get a complaint gonna help?
How's it gonna help? If a person calls in, okay, so the other day, 3 people called in from LMB, or Lions National Bank, that they smell the odor. Okay, so what we should have done is gotten their names and address and telephone number, and then sent Peter out to talk to them to get an affidavit. Did you really smell it? When they sign, there'll be some statement on there that says, if you sign this, you know, and you're lying, you could be forced criminal action. Okay, we're gonna take, what I wanna do is take people's word for it.
How do you?
Well, listen, we take the landfill's word for it.
No,
Why
we-
can't we take somebody else's word?
We
Why
have
is
to
their
validate
word better than anybody else?
We're using a Seneca Falls employee to validate it.
Okay, let me speak for a second. So, every time a crime's committed, the person, this isn't a crime, but I'm just trying to explain how it works. The police aren't there to witness. They don't see the crime happen. You take a deposition from the person signs under penalty of perjury that this happened, okay? Then Peter will there. Peter cannot be there all the time. We're not gonna dedicate a person just to go run and do this. If he takes some 3 people, then he meets those 3 people, takes the deposition, and then we follow through that way. The problem with the odor is it moves all the time. It's at Lion National Bank at 2 o'clock, by 2:15 it's now in Walmart. With whatever way the wind goes is what's doing it.
This is such a polarized political issue that I have significant concern as to not validating the odor and not having a system in place. I have significant concern moving forward without working together and developing a process in place before we just deny an entity. I'm not debating about the odor issues. I'm not whatsoever. We have to have something in place. I don't think it's a good look to not be organized in the forefront of it. And to deny an entity when we're just for perjury. I mean, you're gonna sign your name to it? How are we gonna prove that it didn't happen?
I want to butt in real quick and say, even if we're denying this entity operating permit, they're still going to operate tomorrow, whether we say yes or no. You know, it happened when they went without a permit for like 1.5 years.
I don't think it's good practice, Jackson.
Okay, why?
So why?
Yeah, they're violating town code.
Because I like to be organized and do good practice and work with the appropriate committees beforehand. So if you prefer not to involve the appropriate committees, then that's on you, but that's not how I work.
I would love to involve the appropriate committees.
Well, then maybe you should do so. But if you're gonna deny them first, then that's on you, but that's not how I practice.
Any further discussion? Okay, discussion will be closed. We'll take a vote. Melissa, let's do this.
We don't have a motion.
Okay,
Well, we did have a motion.
go ahead and table it and support
We
it.
need a motion to accept.
Okay, the motion to accept the permit.
Can we table the permit so we can get this in
I make a
order?
motion to accept the permit.
I make a motion that we table.
I second that.
Okay.
What do you?
Well, listen, they made a motion to table, so.
All in favor of tabling the permit, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
Nay. So carried 3-2.
What do you mean, we're gonna table it again?
4-1 table.
3-2 table. That's what I said. I was about to say that.
I want to table it.
It was, I think it was 4-1.
No.
It's 3-2.
Okay.
Roll call, roll call, roll call. Ms. Wiskowski?
Yes.
Table.
Table.
Ms. Dyson?
Table.
Mr. Schmitter? So many freaking drinks.
Hey,
You don't want to table it?
I wanted to vote on the resolution. Pass or fail, not to table it again.
No. I want to table it so we can work on the procedure.
And Mr. Pilar?
No.
Okay. We have 3-2 to table.
Okay, so the motion's tabled. Let's go on to new business. I have a resolution here for the budget modification for the police chief.
I'll make a motion.
Well, I want to explain a little bit about this. So, working with the police chief, and I thank you for his effort in this, we have removed 2 lines of his, a sergeant and a police officer. That's for saving the town. And we also eliminated 1 vehicle and some equipment that would have been a deceptive vehicle with a savings of, out of his budget of $150,137.39. Can I have a motion to accept that?
I make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. So add a little bit more about that. So we've also eliminated his 2 positions and all the stuff that came with it. It's actual savings to the town of $265,965. So thank you, Chief, for working with us and helping us get that out. I have another resolution for the Chief of the Police to attend a training. It's a budgeted item for a cost of $2,500.
I make the motion.
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye, so carried. I have a resolution declaring a printer, scanner, cell phone, and other electronic device to be surplused. I have a motion.
I make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
I got a question.
Yes.
What are we gonna actually do with those? If they're not working or something, what do we do with electronic equipment?
We
They'll
put
be
it on,
recycled.
well, the first thing we do is put it on the surplus website. If somebody wants it, they
Oh,
can buy it.
okay.
And then if nobody bids on it, we'll send it to the recycle center.
Oh, okay, all right. Okay, I'm good.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passed. We have a resolution here to purchase a copier with
I make a motion, we purchase a copier for the,
town assessor.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passed. We have a resolution to purchase a copier for the town clerk's office. That's a printer, scanner, and fax machine. All in favor?
I'll make a
Make motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have a motion here to purchase a mail machine. So there's 2 different things here. We can either lease it or purchase. I believe it would be better off with the purchase. It'd be $14,000. The lease would, over 5 years, would be $40,000. So,
I'll make a motion, we purchase.
anyone second
I'll
purchase?
second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So passed to purchase it. I got a resolution here from the water department to create a maintainer position. That, whereas the water department is in need of creating another water and sewer maintainer position. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have a motion for the water department to appoint Colmar. He has attained his CDL. The town board approves Colmar to the position of water and sewer maintainer at a starting rate of $26.55.
Make a motion.
A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Just for the record, his position will not be replaced. It's just him getting a different class. I have a motion here by the Water and Sewer Department for a CDL training for Lewis Archer for a cost of $5,145. Can I have a motion to accept that?
Make a motion, we send them.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Got a motion here for the Seneca Falls Town Board is seeking sealed bids for cutting down, removing trees and grinding stumps 6 inches below ground level. Bids must specify the cost per day and the hourly rate. Prevailing wage rates, regulations apply. Bidding sheets are available at the town clerk's office during the hours of 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. All sealed bids must be submitted to the Seneca Falls Town Clerk, 130 Overwood Street, Seneca Falls, by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. All bids must be submitted in a sealed envelope marked bid tree removal. Bids will be opened and read at the Seneca Falls Town Board meeting held on April 2nd, 2024. Seneca Falls reserves the right to accept or reject any of all these bids. Can I have a motion?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
And that opening of the bids is what time again, 2 o'clock?
It was at the board meeting, there wasn't a time.
It's
So
at
we'll-
6 o'clock, the board meeting.
We're gonna open
Yeah,
the
the
bids
right
at
at
the
the
board.
yeah, for the board meeting as well, we'll do it. This-
Hold on, I got left off my website here.
So I have legal notice here, it's hereby given that a bid opening will be conducted by the Town of Seneca Falls Board at the Town Hall, 130 Overwood Street, Seneca Falls, on Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024, for the annual rental requirements of heavy equipment on a per hour and tonnage basis, including operators for various anticipated town projects. Example of equipment include graders, bulldozers, rollers, excavators, pavers, etc. The bid price will be effective from July 1st, 2024 to December 31st, 2024 on an on-call basis under the direction of the Town Highway Superintendent. Successful bidders must be available on 2-week notice given by the Highway Superintendent. Bidding specifications are available at the Town Clerk's office, which is located at 130 Overwood Street, Seneca Falls, and are obtained by contacting the Town Clerk during regular business hours. All bids must be submitted in a sealed envelope marked bid heavy equipment and must be returned to the Town Clerk's office by 5 p.m. on Tuesday, April 2nd, 2024. The Town of Seneca Falls reserves the right to accept or reject any of all bids.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have a resolution to replace labor. Whereas the Highway Department would like to hire a laborer to backfill a position that was vacated, and whereas the Highway Department will use this person to perform all duties of labor. The person previously worked at grounds maintained at the cemetery will be a good fit with the department. The candidate has a CDL Class B permit, is interested in being a CDL driving school, obtain a CDL license.
Make a motion, we hire the laborer.
I'll second.
Okay, is it Rivera? How do you say that?
Orlando.
Let's say Orlando, at a starting rate of 2046. So we had motions, can everyone accept A or nay?
Yes.
All in favor? We got a resolution for the sale of outdated, unused equipment. This is the Highway Department. They got a concrete mixer, a ladder rack, and 3-leaf blowers and a pay striper. Can I have a motion to get rid of the unused
Make a
equipment?
motion, we auction it off.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
Now, we still have the one concrete mixer, right?
I have a resolution here, replacement of memorial bench and tree in Academy Square. There's no cost. It's whereas the Brown family of Seneca Falls would like to place a memorial bench and tree in Academy Square in honor of their daughter Taylor Ann Brown, who recently passed. And whereas the bench has already been purchased and the tree will be planted by the Browns in the spring. And whereas the bench and tree will be placed in the park for public use and enjoyment. And whereas there was no cost incurred by the town for this.
Make a motion, we.
I second it.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Resolution, release of funds, $65,000 to Seneca Falls Development Corp. It's a budget item. May I have a motion?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have a motion, release of $3,500 to Seneca Falls Development Corp. to fund the 2024 Farmers Market. They budgeted for 5,000, they're asking just for 3.5.
I'll make a motion.
And a second?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have a special permit application here from It's a Wonderful Life Committee for the Anthony Baricelli Day, which would be April 13, 2024, from 11 a.m. to 12 p.m.
I'll make a motion.
And a
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. I have a resolution here for Vince's Park Pool floor repair. It's a budgeted item. The lowest bid was $24,500. Can I have a motion to accept?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. Okay, I have a resolution here for employee reimbursement for job-related training and license. I'm going to have to read the whole thing so it's on the record. Whereas the town of Seneca Falls supports employees needing license to operate machinery, work at the water plant, wastewater treatment plant, or other locations where a license is required. And whereas in certain circumstances at the town board's discretion, the town may reimburse the employee or prepay for the cost of education or license expense required to obtain necessary credentials to perform job functions while employed by the town. Now therefore be it resolved, the employee's manual shall be updated to include the following conditions and obligations for the town to reimburse employees for training and license expenses. When these licenses are obtained while working for the town and the town has paid for the costs associated with these licenses, certain provisions exist as described below. The employee must successfully complete all educational and training activities, including passing any exams required to receive necessary credentials. If the employee fails to complete necessary coursework or does not receive a passing grade for the course, the employee will not be reimbursed for this or future attempts to complete the course. If the town pays for the course required for the position, the employee will be obligated to work for the town for a period of 3 years. If the employee terminates employment from the town for any reason other than job-related injuries prior to these 3 years from reimbursement, the employee will repay the town 100% of the cost the town incurred for said credentials. At the end of the 3-year period, the employees will have no obligation to reimburse the town for any costs of the courses. In the case that an employee earns multiple credentials, each credential will have its own 3-year period, and reimbursement will be based on that time frame. Failure to pay back the cost of training to the town is outlined in this policy, resulting in the employee not being able to work for the town of Seneca Falls any time in the future unless payment is made. The cost for each training will be placed in the employee's personal folder. If the employee leaves the town before the 3-year period for job-related injury or disability, the cost for the training will be waived. If the employee comes back to work following a work-related injury or disability, the 3-year clock will begin again. I have a motion to accept.
I make the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
What happened to S?
That was removed.
That was really, okay.
I have a resolution declaring television surplus. We have 2 TVs with the court that they no longer use, they want to dispose of. And motion.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried. We have a resolution here for the wastewater plant digester cleaning. Make a
Motion, we get the digester cleaned.
Okay. We're going to place, it's to place it out for bid. So we have a second.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes.
We'll have enough capacity, right, even with that digester down?
We switched over. So the other one?
The other one, so one will do it, right?
One will do it, the other was a storage, so it's just a little trickier to get both back on. But it's doable.
We're good.
We're good.
Okay, so part of the motion will be discuss advertising for the bids. So can I have a motion for that?
I'll make the motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
I have a resolution to purchase a scanner for the zoning officer. The scanner's not working properly. He shares a printer with the town clerk, but he needs a scanner for
I'll make a motion.
his
I'll
documents.
make the motion.
All in favor?
Aye.
So carried.
Okay,
Yeah, we have way under it.
Should we go to executive session, payment bills, please go ahead.
preference, executive session before paying the bills?
If you just pay the bill now, you won't have any action coming out if there's no action.
Can I have a motion to pay the bills?
I make the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
This time, I move that the board go into executive session to discuss the employment history of particular town personnel and public officers law, section 105F. I invite attorney for the town, Patrick Morrell, town manager Peter Social, and town clerk Melissa Brown into the executive session. Just for the audience, there will be no comments once we come out, so it'll be we'll just have a special order of the day when we come out, so anybody wants to leave? Let me make the motion for the session.
I make the motion.
Someone second it?
Second.
All in favor, going to executive session?
Aye.
Thank you everyone for coming tonight.